Good morning. Myself is Kiran Mayi, working as lecturer in physics at Government City College. Now, today we are going to discuss about the thermodynamics. Thermodynamics is a branch of thermal physics which deals with the transformation of thermal or heat energy into mechanical work or vice versa. It also deals with the transformation of heat energy to other forms of energy such as electrical, chemical, light energy, etc. The general study of thermodynamics can be broadly divided into two parts. The first part deals with the relationships between different types of energy based on first law of thermodynamics, and the second part deals with the direction in which these energy changes takes place based on second law of thermodynamics. Next, system and its surroundings. A definite quantity of matter bounded by some closed surface is known as a system. For example, a gas contained in a cylinder with a movable piston constitutes the system. A system which can exchange both energy and matter with its surroundings is called as an open system. On the other hand, the system which can exchange energy only, not matter, with the surroundings are known as closed system. Neither heat or mechanical work may be exchanged. It is said to be isolated system. The behavior of the system can be described in terms of macroscopic and microscopic. Next is thermal equilibrium. Sorry, not thermal equilibrium. External and internal works. External work is nothing but a force is exerted on the system from surroundings, then the work done on the system is again external work. That is nothing but when the work is done by one part of the system on another part of the same system, it is called the internal work. External work is macroscopic concept that this involves an interaction between a system and its surroundings. Next is internal energy. Internal energy is nothing but every thermodynamic system has within itself a definite amount of energy. For example, a mixture of hydrogen and oxygen gas on explosion provides mechanical energy. Now, like this, so many examples are there. The stored energy, which is not apparently shown by a system, is called its internal energy or intrinsic energy. Now, this energy may be constituted according to the kinetic theory of gases. Now, next is your um, isothermal and adiabatic changes. Isothermal change is nothing but when a thermodynamic system is nothing but a system whose state can be defined in terms of pressure, volume and temperature is called as thermodynamic system. And when a thermodynamic system undergoes a physical change in such a way that its temperature remains constant, then the change is known as isothermal change. In this change, the quantity of heat which is developed or lost is given is given out or taken from the surroundings. And adiabatic change is nothing but when a thermodynamic system undergoes a change in such a way that no exchange of heat takes place between it and surroundings. The change is known as adiabatic change. Under adiabatic change, there is a change of temperature. Next one is the indicator diagram. The graph is this is a graph between pressure and volume of a system undergoing operation. This is used in discussing the theory and performance of heat engine. Consider a given mass of a gas is enclosed in a cylinder filled with a movable and frictionless piston. Initially, capital V and capital V be the pressure and volume of the gas. Now the gas is allowed to expand slowly. Suppose P2V2 be the final pressure and volume of the gas. Now represent the initial state as P1V1 of the gas by at a point capital A and final state P2V2 by a point capital B on pressure volume diagram as shown in the above figure. The intermediate changes of the process are represented by different points on AB. The different points on AB indicates the state of gas as it changes its state A to state B. This is called indicator diagram. It can be shown that the area of the figure bounded by PV curve, the ordinates at the initial and final positions, and the volume axis gives the work done by the gas. Next is reversible and irreversible processes. Reversible process is nothing but a reversible process is one which can be reversed in such a way that all changes occurring in the direct process are exactly repeated in the opposite order and inverse sense, and no changes are left in any of the bodies taking part in the process or in the surroundings. If the heat is absorbed in the direct process, the same amount of heat should be given out in the reverse process. If work done on the working substance in the direct process, then the same amount of work done should be done by the working substance in the reverse process. The conditions are, it must be a complete absence of dissipative forces such as friction, viscosity, electric resistance, etc. The temperature of the system must not differ appreciably from its surroundings. The direct and reverse processes must take place infinitely slowly. Now, some examples are all isothermal and adiabatic changes are reversible if they are performed very slowly. When a certain amount of heat is absorbed by ice, it melts. If the same amount of heat is removed from it, the water formed in direct process will be converted into ice. Very slow evaporation or condensation will be an example for the reversible processes. Irreversible processes is nothing but any process which is not reversible exactly is an irreversible process. All natural processes such as conduction, radiation, radioactive decay are irreversible. All practical purposes such as free expansion, Joule-Thomson expansion, electrical heating of a wire are also irreversible. Now, some examples are when a steel ball is allowed to fall on an inelastic lead sheet, its kinetic energy changes into heat energy by friction. The heat energy raises the temperature of lead sheet. No reverse transformation of heat energy occurs. Sudden expansion or contraction and rapid evaporation or condensation are examples of irreversible processes. Joule-Thomson effect is irreversible process because on reversing the flow of gas, a similar cooling or heating effect is not observed. Next is thermodynamic or Kelvin scale of temperature. The temperature are measured by making use of certain properties of substances like expansion of mercury or increase of volume of a pressure of a gas, vibration of thermo EMF. All these are examples. All these are examples. Increase of electrical resistance of platinum with a temperature, etc. All these are examples for the Kelvin scale of temperature. Now, the scale of temperature is devised are arbitrary, which do not agree with each other. That is, temperature of same body recorded on different scales come out to be different. Now the study of that Kelvin scale of temperature will be known. The ideal gas scale given by constant volume hydrogen thermometer is considered to be the best and regarded as standard thermometer. As no perfect gas is available, hence the ideal gas scale is also approximate. Thus, there is a need of an non-arbitrary scale of temperature which does not depend on any property of thermodynamic thermometric substance. With the idea of this construction of a temperature scale which dependent of properties, Lord Kelvin made Carnot engine the basis of scale of temperature measurement. Kelvin started with the result that the efficiency of all reversible engine working between the same two temperature is a function of two temperatures only and is independent of the nature of working substance. This outcome of Carnot's theorem forms the basis of Kelvin's absolute scale of temperature. Let Q1 be the amount of heat absorbed by the reversible heat engine at temperature T1 and Q2 be the quantity of heat rejected at temperature T2 on this scale. Eta equals to 1 minus Q2 by Q1 is in that form we get Q1 by Q2 equals to capital F of T1 comma T2 where capital F denotes some new function. Consider another reversible engine Q2 by Q3 equals to F capital F of T2 comma T3. Similarly, for a reversible heat engine working between the temperatures T1 and T3, if condition is T1 is greater than T3, then Q1 by Q3 equals to capital F of T1 comma T3. By these equations, by multiplying all these equations, we will get Q1 by Q3 equals to capital F of T1 comma T2 into capital F of T2 comma T3. By comparing these three equations, we get capital F of T1 comma T3 equals to capital F of T1 comma T2 into capital F of T3 comma T2 comma T3. Now, by these equations, if we see that T2 will disappear from T1 to T3. This is only possible if we choose the following form of these functions. F of T1 comma T2 equals to phi of T1 comma T2 and F of T2 comma T3 equals to phi of T2 divided by phi of T3. Now, where phi is another function of temperature. Now, when the equation if you put a equation numbers there, then for Q1 by Q2 equals to phi of T1 comma phi of T1 divided by phi of T2. Therefore, with this you will get this phi of T1 and phi of T2 will be represented as tau 1 and tau 2. Now with this, the Kelvin scale of temperature is defined. The thermodynamic or Kelvin scale of temperature is that scale. The ratio of any two temperatures is the same as the ratio of heats absorbed and rejected by reversible Carnot engine operating between these two temperatures. Now at absolute 0, eta equals to 1 minus tau 2 by tau 2 is nothing but for the this will be 0. The absolute this will be 0. That is nothing but absolute 0 is nothing but tau 2 divided by tau 1 will be 0. Now scale of degree is nothing but in order to fix up the size of degree, the interval between ice point and steam point is divided into 100 equal parts. Let ice point and steam point are represented by tau naught and tau naught plus 100. Therefore, according to the formula, Q100 divided by Q naught equals to tau naught plus 100 divided by tau naught. Thus, the thermodynamic scale is completely defined. Possibility of negative temperatures on absolute scale. That is nothing but this is the violation of the second law, and hence negative temperature is not possible on the absolute scale. Next is the main topic is entropy. Entropy is a Greek expression used for transformation concept. We have studied that the temperature of a body remains constant in isothermal process. In isothermal process. Now, whereas heat will be exchanged. Now heat will be added to or taken from the system in an adiabatic process. When a gas is compressed adiabatically, work is done on the gas, and hence the heat energy as well as its maximum temperature are increased. On the other hand, when work is done by the gas, its heat energy as well as temperature are decreased. This shows that in adiabatic process, neither the heat nor the temperature remains constant. Clausius showed that there is something which remains constant during adiabatic process, just as temperature remains constant in isothermal process. This constant property is termed as entropy. Thus, the thermal property of a body which remains constant during an adiabatic process is called as entropy. The entropy is denoted by capital S. Consider a number of isotherms at temperatures T1, T2, T3, so on pressure volume diagram. Let capital A and capital B are two adiabatics. The adiabatic cut the isothermals at small a and small b, small c, small d, small e, small f. Consider a reversible Carnot cycle ABCDA for its working substance between the temperatures T1 and T2. Suppose Q1 be the heat taken at temperature T1 and Q2 be the heat rejected at temperature T2. Then Q1 by Q2 equals to T1 by T2. Q1 by T1 equals to Q2 by T2. Therefore, this in general Q by T equals to constant. Therefore, it's shown that the quantity Q by T is independent of the manner of transformation. Thus, entropy is a definite function of the thermal state of a body. This is not affected in any way by the manner in which a particular state is reached. Now, the physical significance of entropy is nothing but the entropy of a substance is a real physical quantity and is a definite function of the state of the body like pressure, temperature, volume, internal energy, etc. By definition, change of entropy equals to heat energy divided by temperature. That is nothing but change of entropy into temperature equals to heat energy. We know that gravitational potential energy equals to mgh. That is nothing but potential energy is directly proportional to mass into height. If we compare the two results, we get the equivalent entropy corresponds to the mass of inertia. Hence, entropy may be thought as a quantity which bears to heat motion a similar relation as mass bears to linear motion and a moment of inertia in rotational motion. Hence, entropy is also termed as thermal inertia. Now, the increase of entropy of a system implies transition of thermal energy from more available to less available form for conversion into work. Next is entropy is also a measure of randomness or disorder of molecules of a system. The increase in entropy implies a transition from a more ordered arrangement of molecules to less ordered arrangement, that is from order to disorder. Next is how we will measure the entropy. Entropy measurement. The measurement of absolute value of entropy is not possible. We always measure the change in entropy. That is, if dq is infinitesimal amount of heat taken or rejected at temperature T, capital T, the change in entropy is given by ds equals to dq by T. Since as we know that S equals to q by T. When the substance passes from state A to B, capital A to capital B, then the change of entropy is given by SB minus SA equals to integral of A to B dQ by T. As the entropy is a property associated with a certain definite state, therefore we can measure it from an arbitrary zero state. We can select any state represented by a particular value of P and V as a state of zero entropy. Now the entropy of the state B taking state A as arbitrary zero state is given by SB equals to integral of A to B dQ by T. Now to evaluate the above integral, we select the reversible path from D to B as shown in the previous figures. Let the substance passes from from one state to another state, one adiabatic to another adiabatic along the isothermal at temperature T2. The increase in entropy is Q2 by T2. Again, if we pass from same states, there is no change in entropy, while the change in entropy from other state is Q1 by T1. Therefore, for a reversible cycle, Q1 by T1 equals to Q2 by T2 equals to SB. Now, this shows that the change of entropy depends upon two states. Next, how this entropy will be changed in reversible cycle. Now for that, consider a entropy of a substance when it is taken through a reversible Carnot cycle capital A, B, C, D. Starting from initial state capital A, the working substance undergoes an isothermal expansion capital A, B, absorbing an amount of heat Q1 from the source at temperature T1. Hence, increase in entropy equals to Q1 by T1. During the adiabatic expansion BC, no heat is taken in or given up by the working substance. Hence, there is no change in entropy. During isothermal compression CD, the working substance rejects a quantity of heat Q2 at T2. Finally, during adiabatic compression, entropy of the working substance remains constant. Thus, from the net change in entropy of the working substance in the cycle ABCD, we get delta S equals to Q1 by T1 minus Q2 by T2. We know that Q1 by T1 equals to Q2 by T2. Hence, the total change in entropy is of the working substance in Carnot's reversible cycle is 0. Now, the general case of any reversible cycle, if we considered, and that will be made into a large number of Carnot cycles as shown in above one, like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, etc. We imagine that the substance, instead of being taken round the smooth curve, it taken successfully through the elementary Carnot cycles. The effect of the positions cancel out because these paths traverse twice in the reverse order. The net effect of the whole process is that the substance is taken along closed zigzag path. For each elementary Carnot cycle, we have ds equals to 0. Therefore, for elementary Carnot cycles taken the summa, we have delta S equals to sigma of dq by capital T equals to 0. It is obvious that the zigzag path will have adiabatics which are closed, that is, the number is infinite. Therefore, if we replace the sum with the integral, we get delta S equals to integral of closed surface dq by T equals to 0. So, the net change in entropy is 0 for any reversible cycle. This statement is also called as Clausius theorem. The Clausius theorem may be stated as the sum of quantities of heat transfer during isothermal change divided by absolute temperature of the isothermal in a reversible cycle is 0. Next, the entropy, if the entropy is will be change in reversible cycle, what happens? That we will be seen now. In the reversible process, the entropy of the system increases. Examples of irreversible processes are conduction of heat, radiation of heat, diffusion of gases, etc. Now, a process is said to be irreversible when it cannot be retraced back exactly in opposite direction. In this process, heat energy is always used to overcome the friction. First, suppose that is a simple irreversible process. Q1 be the quantity of heat absorbed at temperature T1 and Q2 be the quantity of heat rejected at temperature T2. From the efficiency of Carnot cycle, eta equals to Q1 minus Q2 by Q1. We know that the efficiency of a reversible Carnot cycle is eta equals to 1 minus T2 by T1. For irreversible cycle, the efficiency is less than that of reversible cycle. That is, Q1 minus Q2 divided by Q1 is less than 1 minus T2 by T1. Therefore, from that we get Q2 by T2 is greater than Q1 by T1. Therefore, it will be greater than 0. Entropy, and next is with the help of entropy, how the second law has defined. Second law is nothing but a natural process that starts in one equilibrium state and ends in another equilibrium state will go in a direction that causes the entropy of system plus environment to increase, or every chemical or physical process in nature takes place in such a manner that the total entropy increases. Now, for this, S1 and S2 be the entropies of substance initial state capital A and final state capital B measured by arbitrary 0. The change in entropy is given by S2 minus S1 is equal to integral of A to B dq by T. That is, two states are very close to each other. Then the above relation can be written as ds equals to dq by T. That is nothing but dq equals to T ds. This is the mathematical formulation of second law of thermodynamics. Now, from that Clausius and Kelvin statements of the second law of thermodynamics are consistent with the above stated definition of second law in terms of entropy. According to Kelvin's statement, for the second law, we cannot produce continuous mechanical work by extracting heat from a single reservoir without returning any heat to a reservoir at lower temperature. That is, no perfect heat engine is possible. If there is so, the entropy of the source would decrease by Q by T, where Q is amount of heat taken from the source and T is the temperature of the source. Okay, according to Clausius' statement of second law, there cannot be any perfect refrigerator. That is, it is not possible for a self-acting machine without any external aid to transfer heat Q from a cold body at temperature T2 to hot body at temperature T1. If there were so, the entropy of cold body would decrease by Q by T2. Q2 by T2, while the hot body would increase by Q by T1. Of course, the entropy of the working substance remaining unchanged. Next is entropy and disorder. By an orderly state of molecules in a substance, we mean that at any instant we can be sure is specifying their arrangement within the substance, and by orderly state we mean randomness or molecular disorganization. In gaseous state, we cannot specify the arrangement of molecules because they move in random way. Hence, the gaseous state is disorderly state. The liquid state is a less disorderly state because the molecules do not have much freedom to move as in gaseous state. On the other hand, the solid state is an orderly state as arranged molecules can be specified because they are held by intermolecular forces. This shows that when a substance is converted from solid to the gaseous form, the disorder increases. At the same time, we find that the process of change of state of entropy increases. Thus, with disorder, entropy increases. Example, free expansion. Consider a gas is filled in a vessel capital A which is connected to another evacuated vessel B through a stopcock. Let the stopcock is suddenly opened. Now the molecules have spread over vessel B also. The distribution of molecules is now more random as compared to that before expansion. We know that free expansion in an irreversible process. That is, in free expansion entropy increases. Next example is heat conduction. Heat conduction is irreversible processes and hence entropy increases. Consider two bodies at temperatures T1 and T2 are put in contact. After conduction, they attain a common temperature capital T Kelvin. Before conduction, we could classify between the molecules of body A and those of B because at A temperature will be T1. Because at A temperature will be T1 and temperature while the body is at temperature T2. Then the two bodies had a different RMS speed. After conduction, this classification is lost because the molecules are random, because the molecules are randomly spaced, hence they will lost. This statement for one body at temperature T1 while the other body at temperature T2 will more specified than the statement that the two bodies are at same temperature. So, heat conduction, the system has passed to a greater disorderly state. In this way, along with entropy, disorder is also increases. Entropy of universe. We have seen that entropy of a system remains constant in reversible cyclic process but increases in irreversible processes. Thus, there is no change in entropy of universe due to reversible process. The principle of degradation of energy. The principle of degradation of energy states that the available energy of universe is tending towards zero. This is based on the fact that whenever an irreversible process takes place, a certain quantity of energy of universe is converted from one form to another form. From the available energy, we get Q1 of T1 minus T1 by T2. From our, therefore, with that, if we substitute that, we get now again if we considered the irreversible conduction of heat from a body at temperature T1 to another body, for that available energy before and after, before transfer equals to Q of 1 minus T naught by T1. Available energy after transfer equals to Q of 1 minus T naught by T2. Therefore, from that we will get T naught ds, where ds is the change in entropy. Temperature entropy diagram. Temperature entropy diagram. A graph plotted in temperature and entropy is known as a temperature entropy diagram. Consider a Carnot cycle. The working substance undergoes the following operations: isothermal expansion at temperature T1 of the source, adiabatic expansion where the temperature falls from T1 to T2, isothermal compression at temperature T2 of the sink, adiabatic compression such that temperature rises from T2 to T1. Therefore, the entropy changes linearly in isothermal process while it remains a constant in adiabatic process. During isothermal expansion capital A at constant temperature T1, the entropy of working substance increases from S1 to S2. During adiabatic expansion BC, there is no change in entropy while the temperature falls from T1 to T2. During isothermal compression CD at temperature T2, the entropy decreases from S2 to S1. Finally, during adiabatic compression DA, that entropy remains constant while the temperature rises from T2 to T1. In this way, TS diagram is a rectangle. The area of a cycle of TS diagram gives the available thermal energy. That is nothing but let S1 and S2 be the entropies at A and B respectively in the isothermal change capital AB. The entropy changes from S1 to S2. Hence, increase in entropy equal to S2 minus S1. Let Q1 be the amount of heat absorbed by the working substance in isothermal expansion. Q1 equals to T1 into S2 minus S1. Therefore, from that we will get area of ABEF from the graph, and Q2 is area of DCEF. Therefore, available energy Q1 minus Q2 equals to area of ABCD. Thus, the area of cycle on TS diagram gives an available thermal energy. The efficiency can be calculated in the following way, that is eta equals to q1 minus q2 by q1 equals to t1 minus t2 by t1. That is nothing but uses of TS diagram is nothing but it is used in meteorology. They are